Let's do it.
Alright, it's finally here.
FAE-02.
And this will be posted when it's been gone for months. But now,
Oh my god.
formalities.
Brown sugar and cherry lollipop.
Yeah, it's literally a cherry dum-dum.
Yep. Cherry dum-dum, brown sugar, and that's it.
Smells like when you went to the post office with your parents as a kid and the nice old lady who took all the packages pulls out the basket of lollipops.
That's the nicest memory ever. I love that.
Right?
It's very cute.
It's an actual thing, yeah.
We have some wholesomeness going on tonight with the tasting.
It won't last long.
Yeah, at least isn't here, so.
Yeah, this is literally cherry dum-dum.
Cherry dum dum brown sugar.
Yep.
Whoa.
It smells so good.
Alright, taste it.
It's the sweetest wood finish there's been.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Cherry and brown sugar. And then oak spice, and that's
A
it.
little bit of caramel comes in on the
Little
back
bit.
end.
Okay, the finish is a little more complex.
I get a creamy vanilla.
I get cinnamon roll. So like the vanilla cream and then cinnamon, sugar, and pastry.
You know what it reminds me of? Tagalong.
Really?
The cinnamon roll?
Hmm?
I can see it.
Tagalong batch.
Oh, tag-along. I thought you said Tylenol, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
No, Tagalong.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
explain yourself.
Yeah, it's like the 2021 Booker's sort of cinnamon roll.
It is, but minus all of the extra heat and
Right.
Kentucky.
Well,
Hot.
yeah, I mean, you're also talking a almost 20 proof point difference.
I really like this.
I think this is I've tried RC6. I still want a bottle. I'm still glad I'm going to eventually be getting that one. This is my favorite wood finish so far, I think.
And it's interesting because they described FAE-1 as the more fruit forward of the two finishes, but this is just entirely cherry until you get to the finish.
Well, I think when it's talking fruit, it's just
That one was a lot of dried fruit.
This
though.
is true, though.
Yeah.
this one. I mean, this is almost kind of what I expected. Toasted virgin oak.
Yeah, and then
This is similar to getting a pick that is 10 pure.
yeah, and then
But it's experimental because it's a different stave than any of those.
and I will say this is probably the most oily and substantial mouthfeel, which is what they were going for with this one.
Like
The whole thing with this one was they were supposed to be going for
look at how it clings to the glass. It just sits there.
yeah, it sits in place a good bit.
I love me a good thick whiskey.
It's also surprisingly oily too. Like it's thick, but it's oily is the best way to put it.
Maker's Mark is just straight up fucking proving that they can't make something I don't like.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I was hoping for. Because that's the thing too, is you look at previous private selects, and I mean, I didn't look too much into the RC6 when I tried it. I was just like, oh, this is good. But the 2020 was meant to be a bit more dry, tobacco, oaky.
Mm-hmm.
The FAEs are meant to be sweeter, the first one being more dried fruit. This one, I mean, this is more traditional bourbon kind of sweetness.
That was what we said about the FAE-01 also, but like for different reasons.
Yeah, it was more reminiscent in terms of the not quite the actual flavor, but the profile as like an Elijah Craig.
Yep, because it had the dried
bourbon
fruit.
notes and dried fruit.
Dried fruit. It had tobacco too. That one was a tobacco bomb.
Yeah,
but not like a E.H. Taylor tobacco.
More so on the finish. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like a sweet cigar tobacco.
I would say more like a pipe tobacco at that rate.
Yeah, and then this is just straight up sweet.
Yeah, this is candy
This,
and
like-
cinnamon roll.
Like this is something that I could see being a really good private select too.
Oh,
I could see someone coming up with one that tasted similar to this. But again, the fact that they used all one stave and it still has the complexity of a private select that used a mix of different staves. No, this is really good.
Yeah, I think this is definitely my favorite wood finish so far.
I have to.
I'd agree.
Hands down.
I mean, the only way to go is up with them too. It's like as they do them more, they're going to do crazier things.
I think that I like them in the order they made them, except I think that the SE4 PR5 was my least favorite because it was hotter than the rest of them.
It was.
But
now I would still buy all of them.
Oh, for sure.
And I'd still, like, if I could trade for a backup of any of them, I would trade for a backup of all of them.
But I mean, we've said before though, like, there's not a single private select or maker's product that any of us dislike to the point where we wouldn't buy it.
With the exception for some people of the 101.
Yeah, I was disappointed with 101.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say because
your loss is our gain.
No, that's totally fair.
And again, that falls more under preference, where like
yeah.
it just doesn't fit in somewhere for you.
I just got a lot of bitterness and a lot of heat, and that was what I got on it. Like, I like the regular 90 proof better than it, and that just goes to show, okay, that one was not meant for me. Yeah. But it was the same way with Old Granddad Bonded with Old Granddad 114. I fucking love Old Granddad 114. Old Granddad Bonded, I need to put on the rocks or it's too hot.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's too bitter and it's too hot.
Yeah, well, all we can say is we can be glad that we know that if we're spending 60 on a wood finish or spending 70-ish on a private select, that there's no way in hell it's wasted money.
Right.
I'm convinced that I'm never gonna have one where I'm like, I would not have bought this.
I have to agree.
Again, we were saying even the private select we've liked the least, I'm like, I may not have bought another of that exact one, but I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, I shouldn't have spent the money on this. I would happily finish it or use it in my maker's blends or whatever, because I'm probably going to use maybe half of what's left of that New York one, the 7 Pure 3 Mocha. I might use half of what's left as a base for another maker's blend once I kill a bottle and have empty makers.
And what surprises me is that I like Pure a lot and I like Mocha a lot, but that one didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, well, I think that's the single barrel coming into play where...
Yeah, I think it was like, a bad single barrel.
Relatively speaking. It was still a great bourbon, it just wasn't a great private select. It was okay.
Yeah, once you start to have all of these wonderful, not, like, hits, there's got to be a miss at some point.
Yeah.
But it's only a miss, relatively speaking.
Right. Again, it's like Booker's. Booker's batch that's a miss is still a really good bourbon.
Yes, exactly.
And it's still almost always worth the money.
Speaking of which, why hasn't Bardstown come to PA yet? I'm so confused.
Don't jinx it. I need to wait till I have money.
No comment.
He makes the good point.
Yeah.
Now it's showing up on Monday.
Yeah, so fuck you.
If it shows up Monday, spite him.
Hey man, I don't have any money to spend on it either right now.
That's why you hope it shows up at my store, so we end up having I have the Logan corner going on right now. Actually though, in our office there's a little corner where I was putting the bottles just so that they're out of our way. I mean, granted there's only 2 years, yours is in the corner. There is a Logan.
If you guys get Bardstown, just make the Logan and Ryan corner.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
My boss doesn't give a shit because it's nothing that we're not allowed to limit. I can put them if I put them on a hold, they won't show in our inventory, and I can sit them there as long as we really want.
Beautiful.
Stunning.
I appreciate that again.
Yeah, no problem.
Are we ready for the next one? I'm just anxious to burn through these at this point.
I believe so.
That
So
one,
yeah, FAE-02.
Beautiful.
Fuck yeah.